The winning low-budget campaign structure for your Facebook and Instagram ads. My goal for today is that you have everything you need to set up a great performing low-budget campaign strategy to be able to successfully double your business income with exactly the same resources you have nowadays. What I'm going to show you today are the exact low budget campaign strategies that I've applied to hundreds of small businesses all over the world. And more than 1,200 students in my courses apply each and every day, and which results took me straight to the stage of the AdWorld Conference 2021 as keynote speaker, the world's leading advertising event with more than 50,000 attendees each year. Hi, my name is Vispo, founder and CEO of rumboeficiente.com. I've taught and supported more than 1,200 infopreneurs worldwide on how to grow their business with advanced Facebook and Instagram ads. I'm also the co-CEO of Proelia Digital, Spain's leading marketing agency for info product launches, investing over 2 million in the latest year, hitting a stable average ROAS of more than 5. I also love personal productivity and team management, applying and teaching techniques on my businesses and sharing my knowledge as Trello leader of the Canary Islands. Alright, let's start with the presentation on the winning low budget campaign structure for your Facebook and Instagram ads. But let's start from the beginning. What are those mistakes you're making today and hold you back from achieving great performing campaign strategies? Well, here we go. 3 common errors that are killing your low budget campaign strategies. First thing first, and the first and main error is oversimplifying your campaign strategies. At this moment, you should be taking advantage of the most powerful feature you'll have on the Business Manager tool every single day, A/B testing. Every day, you're able to test dozens, hundreds, and even thousands of variations of any ad type or audience. And the key to getting the most out of Facebook on the Business Manager is precisely to give as many possible options you can. That's what Facebook headquarters named liquidity, to give the business manager as many options you can in terms of budget, audiences, placement, etc. Then, in order to do so, you should always provide as many types of audiences and ads as you can in a campaign. But how many audiences and ads can you try with your current budget? I'll show you in a while. Before we get into it, let me introduce you to the second error you're making today with your low budget campaign strategies. And it is setting audiences like rolling dice. At this point, let me give you some advice. I know you've spent a lot of time on building a great ideal customer's description, but when you sit in front of the business manager, the first thing you should do is to forget about your ideal customer, even if it sounds a little confusing to you right now. Why? Because the business manager is a sniper gun, not a machine gun. Okay, let me explain my point. Imagine you are on a shooting range and you're shooting a bullseye. Of course, you can load up a machine gun and spend a lot of bullets and energy to get to your objective and finally win. But what if you can do it with a lot less energy and bullet consumption? Right, on the other hand, you can get a sniper gun and simply working on your accuracy and controlling your breathing, you'll be able to get to your objective with less than 5 shots. Then let's say that energy in this case equals time and bullets equals budget. If you use less time and budget to get to your objective with your campaign, then you'll be able to get more profitable. Now, You should always remember the business manager is a sniper gun. Therefore, if you want to get the most out of it and build a really great performing campaign, there are two things you should have in mind. You should not be aiming for the whole world when you're building audiences, but don't try to be super specific either. At first, people used to vomit a lot of interest and demographics on their audiences just in case. If you do so, the problem is you'll never know which one of those lot of interests is working less accurately, and even worse, you never know which one of is bringing you customers. So you won't be able to successfully optimize your strategy and scale your business because you don't know where to put your focus to improve. Right, let's go to the third error, which is creating low relevance ads. Please don't be the same old song. The online market is almost saturated. People are already tired of seeing proposals for solutions to their problems they haven't asked for. So, if they don't trust your brand yet or see something different on your offer, you'll never get to convince or persuade them to buy your product. Remember this, it is all about showing the right message to the right people at the right time. Let's imagine we both want to take a drink together. So we start looking for a pub, and we find the one on the left at first. Place in front of that signboard, and what do we feel? Yes, a little confusion. Lots of messages coming to our mind. We don't even care about those messages. We just want to take a drink. And do you know what a confused mind does? Right, absolutely nothing. So we don't take any other action than walking away from that pub. Suddenly, we take a look at the pub on the right, and you start laughing and say to me, "Hey Jan, look at that funny signboard." Of course, I'm sure you know how to read in Spanish, but even so, let me translate that text. It says, "Experienced drunkards are requested." Okay, now think a bit about it and tell me, which one of those two options do you think most of the people will choose? Well, that's a great way to catch up their attention, make a difference, and point to your ideal customer in the same place. Do you know how many pubs we have in Spain? Sure, you understood that newspaper study too, but I'll translate it just in case. In Spain, we have 260k more pubs than in the whole USA, and still we have enough people to fill them all up in Spain too. But the real thing is that only a few of them succeed and get quality clients. Can you imagine which pubs are those that succeed? Every business should be the great brand and make a difference in its message to the world, and those features become mandatory when you are a small business that's trying to win its place in the market. So remember to be different and relevant to your audience. And now I'm about to show you how to make it happen. Well, at this point, I think it's time to introduce you to the 3 solutions I've successfully applied to hundreds of businesses. Minimum and ideal campaign structure. Going back to the budget theme, let me ask you something. How can you fix a campaign structure to your budget? Okay, this is the theory I've applied on hundreds of small businesses. Calculate theoretically at least 2.5 euros per day for each ad of your campaign. In this case, on a campaign with 3 ad sets, with 4 ads on each one. If it's running for 7 days, your budget should be 12 ads per 7 days per 2.5 euros equals 210 euros. Simple. Well, let's move forward to the minimum viable campaign structure that I recommend if you have a very tight budget. Now you might be wondering, how much is a tight budget? Well, you just need to calculate theoretically at least 2.5 euros per day for each ad in the campaign again. Therefore, if the campaign is running for 7 days, the budget will be 4 ads per 7 days per 2.5 euros equal 70 euros for the 1 week campaign. With this simple structure, you'll be testing 2 ads options in which the key is to always change a variable. In this case, the creativity for 2 different audiences. This way, you'll be getting the most out of a really small budget, heading your strategy to that liquidity that Facebook headquarters recommends you to apply. Right, this is the minimum that I recommend to start with a profitable campaign, but I know you want to grow, and therefore my weekly ideal is to bet a little stronger, and in order to get sooner than later to that point, I always recommend the ideal campaign structure for low budgets. Now we get to the ideal campaign structure for low budgets. With this campaign structure, your weekly budget will be at least 210 euros. Remember that minimum of 2.5 euros per ad and day. This way, you'll make sure to test various ads type and audience options to get the most out of your budget with the Facebook algorithm optimization. This simple structure will work for you even for a 500 euros campaign budget. Another important tip you should have in mind whenever you're structuring a campaign strategy is that you must use at most 6 ads per ad set on your campaign in order to increase your budget liquidity. In other words, in order to give more try for each one of your campaign ads with the same budget. Alright, I hope you remember that error related to your audiences, setting audiences like rolling dice. And in order to avoid that mistake, let me introduce you to 3 CBO ideal audiences by Facebook headquarters. Broad. Just select the main interest or demographic that best describes your ideal customer, age range, and location. Narrow or segmented. Select no more than 5 interests or demographics that best describes your ideal customer. Then define age range and location. Lookalike. Then make a lookalike from that pixel or database audience that is closer to your main goal, purchase. I strongly recommend you to build audiences between 200 keys and 5 million people when talking about low budget strategies. Now, you may be wondering why. An audience matters. There are 2 factors that will make your campaign's objective become expensive. 1. Using a very small audience will force Facebook algorithm to find results, even when the algorithm knows that the ad won't work well. 2. Using a large audience will force Facebook algorithm to make a lot more interactions to get to the best performing profile inside that audience. And if we take it to the ideal structures on a minimum viable campaign structure, I recommend you to use narrow or segmented audiences and lookalike audiences from the bottom of your funnel pixel or database audiences. That way, you will aim for those options that theoretically will work better for your business. Then, on an ideal campaign structure, I recommend you to use broad audiences with just that one interest or demographic which better describe your ideal customer. Narrow audience or segmented audience with those 5 interests at most, and a lookalike audience of the bottom of your funnel. That way, you will aim for those options that theoretically would work better for your business. adding a broader test to the campaign and multiplying your opportunities to succeed. Furthermore, maybe you could apply a greater trick to your audiences, implementing what we named in an agency super lookalike audiences, which is simply mixing your best pixel and database audiences by using lookalikes from different parts of the funnel in the same audience. So try mixing purchase, initiate checkout, add to cart, and even content view could work well too if you have a small database. Finally, we get to how to build your own killer ads. Now, stop selling and start giving. Right now, there are a lot of people who would love to buy your product, but they haven't been reached with the right message yet. And most probably they don't even notice about your brand right now. People who buy your products only need you to speak to them in the same language. It is essential that you understand their feelings, both their fears and their wishes. That will pave the way for you, for sure. Most people do not buy on the internet due to mistrust. That is the main barrier you have to overcome with your business right now. You need to work on your branding and trust if you want to achieve sales and make your business become profitable in the next few weeks. That is why complete campaign strategies help you get better results, because you get people committed to your brand and business in return, just because you showed the right message to the right people at the right time. Okay, I think it's time for you to discover the 3 levels of awareness when solving a problem, any problem. Level 1, you are aware of your problem, but you can live with it. Imagine that from time to time a toothache comes to you, but you think it is something specific and you just let it go. Level 2, at this point, you are aware of your problem and you are starting to think you need to take it over it. Suddenly, that punctual toothache becomes something more common, but you still think you can hold on. You don't have time or cash to fix it at this moment. And level 3, you cannot take that problem anymore. You need to solve it right now. That same move, there comes a time when the pain becomes unbearable. It is at that very moment that your priorities totally change. The unavoidable expenses and the lack of time goes into the background. You are going to the dentist right now. Do you know what a tooth hurts when it's infected? Now, imagine that when your tooth started to hurt, for the first time, a friend made you become aware about the importance of that little pain. He tells you it is going to become unbearable in a matter of days, and it isn't going to let you even think. And moreover, he tells you can also solve it with a simple visit to the dentist. Would you have waited so long to go to the dentist? Most likely no, since that conversation would have helped you go from level 1 of consciousness to level 3 of consciousness without having to undergo the whole process. And that's what you do when you apply a complete campaign strategy to your business. Of course, you can aim for those people who are on level 3 of awareness and get some sales, but there is a whole world outside you can reach and really multiply your income by simply applying some branding, prospecting, and retargeting techniques to make people who don't even know your brand want to buy your products so bad. Therefore, I encourage you to go across the 3 levels of awareness right now and apply. Branding, by presenting your brand and how you solve a problem with no call to action included on your ads. Prospecting, now they already know you. Show the world the transformation that your product will make on your customer. And retargeting, make those that are not convinced still take the final decision, offering some extra benefits for buying your products. Remember to add some scarcity and urgency to your ads at this point. So let's sum up what we've seen in this presentation. 3 mistakes to avoid. 1. Oversimplifying your campaign strategies. 2. Setting audiences like rolling dice. And 3. Creating low relevance ads. And the 3 solutions to apply today. 1. Minimum and ideal campaign structure. 2. CBO ideal audiences from Facebook headquarters. And 3. Creating high relevance ads based on the 3 levels of awareness. Last but not least, I would like to show you an extra trick that I successfully apply every week on my own business. I strongly recommend you to choose 1 or 2 social media to focus on and work your organics by creating content for your business. It would also help you develop great branding and prospecting campaigns by using your own posts as ads. Once your campaigns are over, you will keep all the engagement gathered for your organic posts. Additionally, video nuggets, as you can see in the examples, may help you create awareness and branding to increase your authority on a specific niche. For example, video nuggets, newsfeed posts, and stories help me a lot in selling my Facebook ads, courses, and Facebook specialist to agency mode mentorship. So, if you run low budget Facebook and Instagram ads, then definitely go ahead and apply all these strategies I've shown you today. And this year will be your year. See you soon.